Hello everybody, today's going to be this week's edition of Will I Buy It? This is a video series that I do here on my channel every single week in which we talk about this week's newest makeup releases and whether or not we want them and why. This is of course inspired by Samantha March. She is the creator behind this series, and if you're interested in checking out her channel, I'd highly recommend it, and of course I'll link it down below. But this kind of series goes up on my channel every single Sunday. Last week it went up on Monday. I had a few technical issues, but it usually goes up on my channel every single Sunday, and I just really enjoyed doing this series with you guys because it's a really good opportunity for, I think, all of us to really dissect newest makeup releases and think about them quite objectively and discuss whether or not we need them, whether or not we want them, and just talk about why. So if you're interested in seeing what I have to say in this video, then of course keep on watching. The first launch that I want to talk about is one of the more noteworthy launches that we have to talk about for this week. This is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde eyeshadow palette. I saw this and I was instantly just really inspired by the pastels in here, by the addition of just many different colors. I will say this: the pastels make this palette look very unique because I definitely think that right now, as we look at the makeup industry, colorful palettes are becoming more and more mainstream little by little. However, what we're not seeing a ton of would be pastel shades, and that's what really draws me to this palette. However, alright, I was looking at this palette rather objectively, and I decided to really look at each and every individual color, and I did find that there were several neutral shades in here, which theoretically is totally fine. Of course, a lot of people wear neutrals. However, as many of you already know, I try to avoid neutral shadows usually on an everyday basis because I just love color. And even if I do want to inject a few neutrals into my look, chances are I have more than enough neutrals in my own personal collection. So at this point, I'm really trying to only stick to buying palettes and eyeshadow products that are truly colorful, because even if there are neutral, and even if I start to wear neutrals a little bit moving into the future, I still have so many neutrals in my collection, I really don't need to buy any more. I would much rather buy more pastel shades, but since this palette does include some neutral shades, I'm kind of turned off by that, if that makes any sense. So initially I would have been like, oh my gosh, I want to buy this palette so much. Now I've sort of had a moment to sort of step back. I do like the color story a lot, but is it for me? Not necessarily. Okay, speaking of neutrals, we have a new palette from Physicians Formula. This is an eyeshadow palette, and this is called the Rose All Day Eyeshadow Bouquet. And these shadows are supposed to be enriched with rose extract to help soothe and calm. And they're also formulated with antioxidant-rich goji and brightening Kakadu plum, the richest vitamin C source of any fruit. I'm looking at this palette and I'm trying to look at it again objectively, and I'm not seeing anything in this palette that is appealing to me. Yes, this palette is pretty much a neutral palette, and as I have already stated, I'm not interested in buying another neutral palette because I have no need for it. I already have so many neutral shadows in my collection. Even after decluttering my collection from neutral shadows, I still have a lot. So this is definitely going to be a pass for me. Anastasia Beverly Hills is, at long last, launching false eyelashes. So these are supposed to be synthetic, vegan, cruelty-free, and $12 each. And a few of these are exclusive to the ABH website, but the majority of the collection will be available at Sephora as well. I'm looking at these lashes and I'm thinking there might be some lashes in here that I might actually like. $12 for me is still a little bit to be spending on eyelashes or on false lashes. And I will say this, I already have a ton of lashes that I'm working through, that I'm going through. I always try to make sure that I'm taking care of the lashes that I have. So for me, lashes last a very long time. So I'm not in the market to buy any more lashes anytime soon, but who knows? If I do end up trying to get some more lashes, I might consider these. but at the same time, I'm not going to be getting them right now. Artist Couture is launching 3 new shades of their existing Plush Pout glosses. I will also try to include some swatches of the shades as well so you can get a full picture. These definitely look quite opaque as well. If I had to choose one of these glosses, I would definitely choose the more nude one. I see it as being like a really beautiful gloss to add some dimension to a darker lip or even to a more terracotta nude lip, because I'm really into the idea of just layering different lip products to just add some more dimension to my lips. I always like to experiment with different colors, as many of you already know. I will say this, at the moment I'm not in the market for any new glosses. I'm already going through some glosses and lip products that I have already purchased that I will of course be mentioning to you guys in future videos. But do I need any more? No, not really. They don't have a price on here, but I imagine that they're somewhere around $20, which is a high-end price appropriate for Artist Couture. Do I love these glosses? No. So naturally I will not be getting them. However, if I had to choose one shade, I would probably choose the lightest shade because that seems the most flattering, or that seems like it would be the most flattering on me at least. Moving on though, I do want to talk about BH Cosmetics. They have a new addition to their Zodiac palette collection. This time they are talking about Scorpio. Just as they have done with previous Zodiac palettes, they have 9 eyeshadow pans with a highlighter in the center. And just as I have said for virtually every other Zodiac palette that they have launched, I'm not interested in this. This looks completely boring. It literally looks like they decided to have a maroon backdrop for the shades and include just one maroon color coupled with everything else being neutral. So for me, that's not interesting. In fact, that's rather boring. So this is a definite pass. However, if you do like this palette, if you do like the color story, this will be available, or I believe this is already available, or is it coming soon, for $14. So not a bad price. However, is this interesting to me? No, not really. So Kaleidos Makeup is launching some highlighters, and these are going to be $14 each, and you can get the full set of 6 shades for $76. I saw these shades and I was instantly intrigued by just how unique the entire design was, the concepts were. The shades themselves seem very unique as well. I do like the variety. I admit, even though I have said on many occasions that I am not in the market for any new highlighters because I'm already going through my existing collection and I'm trying to finish those highlighters up before I start getting new ones, I'm very tempted. So I just might get these. I have no idea. Kaleidos Makeup is just in general a brand that I really want to try out product from. So be it their eyeshadow palettes or their highlighters, I definitely think that I will be trying makeup from Kaleidos Cosmetics moving forward. But I will say that these highlighters definitely look quite appealing, and I'm very excited to see reviews and other people's opinions on them. Next, I want to talk about this palette called the Equalizer palette from the brand Sample Beauty. This is supposed to be 50% matte and 50% corresponding shimmers slash mattes with sparkly reflects. So okay, see, here's the thing. When I initially saw this palette, I was like, okay, this is a rainbow palette, so not interested. I will say this though, the fact that they have decided to add matte shades with corresponding shimmery, sparkly shades, it does make me think that they did put a little bit more thought into this palette. However, is this something that I want? No, because I'm not in the market for a rainbow palette like this. I have my own palette collection with colorful palettes in it, and I do not need another rainbow palette, so this is going to be a pass. However, as I always say when we're talking about rainbow-esque palettes here on this channel, if you are new to color and you don't already have a rainbow palette such as this might be a great option for you. I have no idea about the quality of this, I don't know about the formula, but I imagine this might be a good color story to work with if you are new to colorful makeup and you want to expand your existing collection. I also want to talk about this new palette from Midas Cosmetics. This is part of the Holiday 2019 collection, and this is going to be called the Oh Snap Gingerbread Mini Palette. And this includes 10 shades of mattes, foils, metallics, and satins, and this is going to be available for $18, and it is also limited edition. Now, is this palette for me? No. Even though you do have several really colorful shades in here, this is not something that I want to get for myself. This is not something that inspires me, and this is not something that I can't already do using my own collection. So, for me, this is a no. However, if you are somebody who doesn't have a lot of warm tones in your collection, if you're somebody that doesn't have a lot of like reds and oranges in your collection, if you find this kind of color story inspiring, it might be a good option for you. In addition to that, if you do have a friend or acquaintance who you're giving a gift to and they are interested in makeup, this might be a good option for them. I do have to remind myself constantly that people are interested in cutesy packaging and concepts, and not everybody is as cynical as me when it comes to choosing makeup, but I definitely can think of a few people in my life who would really like something like this because it's very small, it is a fun theme, the colors are rather pretty, and it's a good price. So it's all good through and through. However, is it for me? No, but I do see it being a fantastic gift for some other people in my life. We do have a few sneak peek photos from KKW Beauty and Mario, or Mario Dodanovic. I'm always mispronouncing his name, and it sucks because I really admire him as a makeup artist, but they are collaborating again, and this time they are giving us a little bit of a sneak peek into the collection. The collection will include an eyeshadow palette, lipsticks, glosses, lip pencils, and face powder. I don't think Mario released a face powder last time he collaborated with KKW Beauty, so I'm curious to see people's opinions on that. However, I will say this, I have let me see here, the first palette that KKW Beauty and Mario launched, and I will say this, even though it's a neutral palette with a pop of blue, so really not my style, this palette is seriously really good quality. The shadows are beautiful, they blend so easily, and there's a reason why I still have this palette in my collection. I am not a neutral eyeshadow user as much as other people are, but I still find myself reaching for this palette for this highlight shade, this blue shade, and even if I want to like go classic with like a more neutral-ish eye, I instantly think of this palette because of the quality. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna release this around the holidays, but yeah, I'm intrigued. Will I be getting this? I have no idea, but we'll see. Midas Cosmetics is launching their 9-pan Wicked palette. This is a palette that is available for $20, and I will say this, even though I have no need for any of these shades in my collection, I do think that this is an interesting play on a fall/Halloween themed color story. It's an interesting palette, definitely lots going on here. However, is it for me? No, because I already have so many oranges in my collection, so I don't really need any more. So this is going to be a pass, but I do like the color story. I think it's fall appropriate, and it's a fun way to add color to that fall theme as well. I do want to talk a little bit about Midas Cosmetics. Last week they revealed they were going to be launching a few new products, including 2 eyeshadow palettes and 1 highlighter. This week we have a more clear view of the two eyeshadow palettes. One is called Vida and the other one is called Muerte. And I will say this, the Muerte color story is absolutely beautiful. I mean, you have those turquoise in there, you have those reds, you have those blues. I think this is such a unique color story. It instantly inspired me, and I admit I'm very tempted. The Vida palette, it's more of a fall color scheme. It's very bright. You have oranges in here, you have reds, you have a few neutrals, you have that yellow, and you have that green. It's really beautiful, and it's a wonderful take on a fall color scheme. Is it for me though? Yeah, kind of, but I don't love it as much as I love the color story for the Muerte palette. So I don't know. I'm actually really tempted to get one of these. I have no idea. I'm really tempted, and I know that this is probably limited edition, so it'll be gone in like a few months, but like, the color story is so pretty. This brand called Midas Cosmetics is launching the Little Kitty Big City palette, and this is available for pre-order for $35. First of all, love cats, so I love the theme, and the color story seems so really, like, just really beautiful. You have a lot of really unique looking duochrome shadows in here, and then of course you have some warm tones. Again, this is a really interesting take on a fall kind of themed color story. I really like that. Is this for me though? Like, is this the color story for me? No, because I already have so many of these shades in my collection. If it was just like a quad with only those cool tone shades, then I'd consider it. But with all of these shades in this palette being like a lot of golds, a lot of like oranges, I already have those kinds of things in my own collection, so I don't need them in a new palette, if that makes any sense. Scott Barnes, who is JLo's makeup artist, is coming out with a few new products for his brand. He has a highlighter palette, a blush palette, contour palette, eyeshadow palette, and another eyeshadow palette. So the two eyeshadow palettes are supposed to be colorful. One is colorful, the other is neutral, and then the face palettes have 8 pans within each of the palettes. See, here's the thing about Scott Barnes. He's a celebrity makeup artist. So this sort of thing, I think, is geared towards makeup artists. Am I a makeup artist? Technically, no. Because I only do makeup on myself and I look at it as a fun hobby. I see this as being a great option for somebody who is doing makeup on other people. Am I that person? No. So naturally, this is not necessarily the best purchase for me to make, even though this all looks like fantastic makeup, and I think that somebody who is a working makeup artist would really benefit from something like this. Alright, so that's all the makeup that I wanted to talk about for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it interesting. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye guys. I just realized that my camera stopped recording because my card is full. Good job, Anya. This is fantastic.